etiquette and fields that we play at.
Yeah, just a little general info. We're just shooting the shit. It's a rainy day, or I think it's raining. He says it's not. But
I don't know.
who are we to judge?
Yeah. I mean, they do say the older the wiser.
Yeah.
He's only got 10 years on me. It's all right.
No, 20. What are you talking about? 10?
I'm being polite, right?
Well, I'll be fucking polite. Be for real. All right, so we're going to start all over again.
All right.
3, 2, 1. Field etiquette. Take 4.
Take 3.
Take 3.
All right, guys. Hello and welcome to IB Airsoft. This is Sandman.
And I'm Repo.
Here to bring you some field etiquette and review some of the fields that we've played at.
Yeah, we're not probably going to review. We'll just bullshit about them.
We'll bullshit about them. That's it. By the way, we're going to have a few slip-ups because we're adults and it happens.
Yeah, when we get into this field etiquette, we might get a little bit over-emotional because...
A little bit rowdy.
Because sometimes things get a little bit carried away and it's very, very frustrating.
I'd say so.
I mean, for me, I'm fairly new to Airsoft. I've been playing way less than a year.
No.
Yeah.
Rich, you've been playing...
Less than a year.
Yeah, but it's not way less than a year. I met you back in what? October?
Well, yeah, October, August, it's only June, so a few months shy of a year.
Shy of a year. I've been playing for 6 years.
But I did take a three-month break, I think.
Yeah,
2 month break. But bottom line is, we're still fairly new to Airsoft. The reason why I got into Airsoft is because my son wanted to play Airsoft.
And because of me.
And because of him, yeah. I ran into him playing some kind of street game called, some big, adult game called Pokemon Go. And
only adults can play that, kid. Stay away from it.
So I ran into Sandman over here when I was playing Pokemon Go with my 10-year-old. And
he's 12. He's 11 or 12?
He just turned 11.
Jesus.
He just turned 11.
I keep thinking the kid's like 12, 13 years old.
So basically, my son wanted to play Airsoft, and I didn't want to put him out there to play on his own. I figured, let me play with him, one, to bond with him, to do a father and son type of thing, to keep an eye on him to make sure that he's not, getting taken advantage of or pushed around, bullied, blah, 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 etc., etc. And 3, to make sure that he's acting the way that he's supposed to be acting. Because, again, was 10 years old.
And 4, to make sure he's having fun.
Yeah.
And being safe. That's 5.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole reason why I play. Listen, I enjoy Airsoft. I like Airsoft. I'd rather be sitting on a beach or on a cruise ship, hanging down, getting pina coladas and stuff.
I mean, wouldn't we all?
But I enjoy it, and I enjoy doing it with my friends and my teammates and my family. So back to that, I basically started playing to make sure that my son was doing the right thing, not causing a commotion, not causing an unsafe environment for other people, not participating in dangerous activity, and not acting like a juvenile delinquent. Because a lot of times when we're out in the field, we see kids, 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds,
The age goes from, I'd say, from like 12 to 15, where you do have some kids who do act like juvenile delinquents, which is understandable. They're kids.
Yeah, exactly. They're kids, but their parents drop them off. You're putting replica firearms in their hands, and they run around thinking that they're
like
Wiz Khalifa, running around like he's John Rambo.
I wouldn't really. John Rambo was a badass, man.
Yeah, but they don't
think they're John Rambo. They pretty much think.
Who's that Wiz Khalifa? Isn't he like some kind of rapper that they all listen to?
He's some stupid rapper. Bro, I can't even keep track of the music anymore.
Well, anyway, they run around like
blasting this music and pretty much thinking
gangsters.
they can do what they want. Yeah, gangsters.
And it becomes a real. I don't know,
nuisance.
Drain. Yeah, like a real
It's
drain.
a nuisance and a drain,
It's
honestly.
an energy drain.
Because, you're trying to have fun while out on the field, and you're like, this is something I enjoy. But then you have these kids who have these big fancy setups, and they pretty much think they can do what they want.
And every
And
other
it
word,
ruins the fun. Every other word out of their mouth is something horrendous.
cursing, or replicating rap songs, or has something to do with a freaking meme, whatever that is.
What are memes, dude? I'm 22 years old.
I know what a meme is. Like, what are those? You know, things like that. But
Is that really considered a meme? I thought there was a Vine.
Yeah, I thought it was a clip.
A Vine.
You know what?
I don't know, but we're getting way off topic here.
Yeah.
Going back to field etiquette, every field has their own set of rules and stuff that you need to follow.
Memes. You see how distracting that is?
It really is.
Memes.
You're running around and all you hear is a little kid going, memes! Anyway, so every field has their own set of rules. Basically, every field kind of shares the same rules.
More or less. Some have a little bit more leniency. Some have a little less.
Some are a little more strict. Well, for instance, let's go over rule number 1. The 10-foot rule. You have a 10-foot engagement distance. So if you're anywhere within 10 feet of a person, you're not supposed to pull your trigger.
Memes!
Yeah, you pick up your gun and you point memes.
Yeah, you say,
no. Let me just give you a demonstration real quick. So I'm in the line of fire. Here's my KWA LM4. Love this thing. I'm out on the field and I'm shooting. Now somebody crosses me or I'm looking at them and they're, let's say, 5-6 feet away. I'm not going to sit here and pull my trigger 7 times until they call a hit. I'm going to point my gun at them and yell, bang, bang. Or safety kill, depending on the field that you go to.
Or if he's, underage, memes!
So you want to obey that rule because somebody can get seriously, seriously hurt. We've all seen it on YouTube. You haven't lived it, but I have. Let me get into a little story. I was playing about a couple of weeks ago, and I was running around. I don't wear a face mask. I cannot breathe in them. It gives me a rash.
That's
So
really your own fault, though.
It is my own fault. But I stopped wearing a mesh face mask, and I started wearing like a sleeve almost made. Who's the company makes them? SA company makes them. These things are great. So I figured, you know what? I'll wear this. I can breathe better, and everything is hunky dory. So I'm in a window, and I'm calling bang bang on people. One kid decides, oh, I'm more than 10 feet away, and pulls the trigger. Now this man was standing 7 feet away from me.
How do you actually know he was 7 feet?
Well, because from the window I was in, I wear a size 12 to 13 shoe, so I'm pretty much accurate with my
So you do that
measurements.
walk, that foot walk.
I do my foot one in front of the other to measure. So
Because
I actually measured this, and it was 7 feet exactly. So this man decides to pull his gun up from where he is, point it directly at my face, and pull the trigger. Now me, I get a little aggravated because, first of all, that's disobeying the 10-foot rule. Secondly, what do you gotta pull? What do you gotta pull the trigger for? If I scare you, it's one thing. It's happened to me plenty of times. But if you deliberately see me and you say, I'm gonna shoot this kid right in the face, that's a bad move. Don't do that. So anyway, I got really frustrated and I stormed off the field. Now I pull my face covered down as I'm walking back, and I'm pretty much at the entryway. And I just happen to touch my lip with my finger, and because I cut the pointer fingers on my gloves off, and I see blood. This was not fun. So I'm screaming and yelling and cursing and going ballistic because this just happened. So I go into the bathroom and I wash the spot, and I don't see anything, but I feel something on the inside of my lip. So somebody had actually had a med kit with an alcohol pad. So I wiped it with the alcohol pad, and what do you know? There's a little white speck in there. So I managed to pop the BB out of my lip, which I should have recorded.
Memes!
Memes, exactly. Popped it out of my lip, it dropped into the bathroom, into the sink in the bathroom, and there was a little bit of blood.
There was a
Because
lot
it
of
was
blood.
embedded in my lip. It almost went fully
It
through.
didn't bleed until you got the BB out, because the BB was holding the blood in.
Yeah. But I'm not leaving a BB in my lip, because that's insane. We'll never do that. And I had a conniption. For all of you who understand what that means, congratulations. Anyway, so the moral of that is always obey your 10-foot rule. If you're not sure, just call it anyway, just to be safe, because you do not want to injure somebody.
Now here's the thing where we might disagree a bit on the. See, I'm not 100% for the bang bang rule.
No.
I am for the safety reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for it for the safety reasons. I'm not for with the kids that just want to run around into a room and go bang 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 bang, and then they tell you, "Oh, you didn't bang bang me, I bang banged you." So that becomes very annoying
it becomes
and
a
frustrating
nuisance.
and unsportsmanlike.
Yeah.
But I do completely understand that you should, as a human being, as a person that you're playing within a community,
Have some decency.
have some decency for your fellow teammate. Even though we might be in opposite teams, I don't aim for the head. I
is
aim
good.
center mass there. If your head is the only thing that's popping out, I might hit you there. But it's never an intentional aim for a head.
No.
It's an intentional aim for the chest area. I don't want to be the one responsible for
Somebody
hurting
losing
an
a
eye,
tooth
knocking your
or
tooth out, knocking your jaw, whatever. But I do understand the 10-foot rule. I do understand that sometimes kids or adults break that 10-foot rule, not on purpose, because there is times where, you're going into a room and somebody pops out and you just, you pull the trigger.
And you get scared and you pull the trigger.
Yeah.
That's understandable. Everybody can agree with that.
Yep, but it's all how the reaction comes after.
It depends on the person. Me, I've caused it. It's happened to me. I don't get angry at that because I physically saw myself scare you. Like for instance, at the field, the normal field we play is the Airsoft Factory. So I ran up to a building. Kid had no claws there. I go bang bang. This kid, I swear, jumped out of his skin, did a full 180 and shot me. Thank God his gun wasn't shooting that high, but he also hit me in the chest. That was a scare. Now I did not have to call that, but sportsmanship, fellow friends, sportsmanship is key. I called that hit. Walked back to my spawn, came back. Everybody was happy. The kid came up to me, apologized. I said, "Don't even worry about it. I scared you."
That's what happens.
And I've done it too.
There's a few times where I hit somebody in the less than 10 feet area, and the first thing that I do is before they can even curse me or say that I shouldn't, is, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry."
That's it.
That's the first words out of my mouth. Because as soon as you pull that trigger, you realize, holy cow, he's too close. Oh my God, I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm so bad. And then I myself take a time out and end up walking back to my spawn. Nobody got me out, but I take it as a timeout. I walk myself back to my spawn.
That's it. It's all. The thing is, you want to have decency when it comes to another person or another player's safety, and then there's sportsmanship. You always want to have sportsmanship because you do not want to start a fight, be involved in a fight, or anything. You just want the situation resolved.
There's other times where I had shot an opponent on the other team clearly farther than 10 feet away, and they assumed that it was 10 feet, and now we don't have tape measures that we're going to roll out. So
it's like, yeah, hold on, let me go in my admin pouch and grab a tape measure.
Yeah, your protractor and whatever else. But the guy, says, "Oh my God, you hit me in less than 10 feet." You know what? I didn't do it on purpose. I said, "I thought you were this." The ref came over. You shot less than 10 feet. You have to sit out. I didn't shoot less than 10 feet, but as a ref, I need to respect you, and I'll go sit out.
And that's that.
Even though the ref was completely wrong and was not aware of the situation, and that's where another field etiquette and field rules we're going to talk about in a minute, comes into effect, is referees are there to do a job. They're there to referee the game.
They're there to make sure everything goes smoothly and keep the game going.
They're not there to take their friends' words for it. They're not there to determine who wins and who loses a game. They're there to make sure that everybody is playing safely and following the rules. And the key, number one, is rules are made to keep people safe.
But I know a lot of you hear that, and then you're probably all thinking, or some of you may comment, oh, but rules are made to be broken. Yes, that is a saying, but when it comes down, let's go back to sportsmanship. When it comes
That's
down
like
to
no
airsoft,
right on red. You make the
that's
right,
what I'm saying.
That's not like
it's just have decency and sportsmanship.
if you want to jeopardize your own safety,
That's
go
fine.
ahead and do it.
That's on you. Do not blame anybody else.
But when you're jeopardizing someone else's safety, and especially when you have young children who happen to be playing in the indoor facilities that are 10, 11, 12, 13 years old.
They even started ages 8. I've seen 8-year-old players.
A lot of countries you have to be 18 years old or older to play airsoft. Our country you have to be 10. 10 maybe less. But
10 by yourself, I think you can be 8 with a parent.
maybe, and then some events are 13 years old or
Accompanied with a parent or 18 or older. That's mainly the whole thing with the big events, but we'll get to that in another video.
I personally believe that anyone, let's say 13 to 15, I really don't know, it's a little bit age, should be accompanied by an adult.
I feel like that makes sense.
I feel like if there's 2 or 3 kids going and they're friends and their mom drops them off, one parent should remain behind to be responsible for those children. Okay, God forbid, 1, those children get hurt. 2, they become a liability and start having temper tantrums and
they become
going nuts, and they become physically aggressive towards adults or other children. I believe
employees.
that a parent should be there for at least, I would say, 15 or younger. They should have some sort of adult supervision.
I agree with the 15, but I feel like by 15 years old, I feel like
you should know how to act.
You should know how to act by now, because you've been a teenager for 2 years, but you're also stretching towards young adulthood. I believe that starts.
So
at
maybe
16.
13.
I'd say if you really want, parents should stick around if your age is 10 to 13. We'll give that 3-year.
Well, 13 and under, yeah.
13 and under. That's only fair. Let's see, what other, a lot of places also have the rule, no full auto or no burst. Understandable. If you go to first of all, you're going to an indoor facility. Why would you want to use full auto in close quarters?
Unless you're a juggernaut.
The whole no full auto, I feel like that's also like a safety thing. I don't know. Would you agree?
I'll tell you why. You have guys with HPA.
Oh, God.
And mostly kids, and they love to show it off. Oh, my gun could do this. Oh, we could shoot 90 rounds a second.
That's...
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares the rounds per second you can shoot, or who cares how fast you can pull your trigger? I have a very, very, very good trigger finger, especially when it comes to an HPA setup. I don't own one. I've used them. I love them. But
the minute these HPA speed softers get angry...
It's not even just speed softers, though. It's a lot of the kids who own the HPA setups, a lot of them tend to get very, very angry. Especially, they'll complain, oh, he's not calling his hit, and they'll light them up.
And they take it upon themselves to put their guns into full auto and light up.
And now you can tell when an HPA setup is full auto, because it sounds terrifying. But, in semi-auto, if you have a really good trigger finger, such as myself, it'll sound like it is full auto. I personally feel that if you're really going to use an HPA setup, CQB, let me rephrase, an HPA setup on a rifle or a submachine gun, such as like an MP5 or an MP7, indoor is a little crazy. Now, if you have an HPA setup for a sidearm, like I know a lot of people do, that's okay. I understand you guys don't feel like reloading your magazines with green gas after every game or after every 2 games. You have a tank that you just run a line from, and you're good to go. That's fine, but on a rifle or a submachine gun, I feel like it's a little bit overpowered and a little bit too much, especially for a close quarters combat area.
I just don't like the fact that a lot of them a lot of the fields don't require tournament locks. They should be locked.
Tournament locks are a thing that really should be enforced. What a tournament lock is on an HPA setup, you have a regulator to regulate how much gas pressure you use, your PSI. Now a tournament lock, you set it to a certain PSI, so let's say you want your field, let's use Striker Airsoft, for instance, up in Hackettstown. There, I believe the last time I was there, their FPS limit was 365. I don't know if it went up. I could be wrong.
2 5s, 2 O's.
With 2 O's. Every field is 2 O's. So if you're shooting, let's say, 360 with 2s or 2 O's, that's it. You put a tournament lock on your regulator so you cannot adjust it to be any higher.
And all it is a $10, $14
It's
cap.
anywhere from $10 to $15. It's just a
little
cap that goes on top.
Goes over, and your wire tie goes through the little loop or through it, ties it down so you can't remove it off, and your wire ties through it. And you have your field regulated wire ties, and now that person cannot remove that wire tie and
To increase their PSI.
chrono legitly, and then crank up their HPA to be shooting.
Let's
what we
say
call hot.
400, which would be shooting hot. And shooting over the FPS, the feet per second limit at your field is considered shooting hot. So if you are one of those people who have an HPA setup, if you do milsim events, if you do big games, you should have a tournament lock. Because I know a lot of games, especially Bad Blood, requires, I know this year actually, it requires a tournament lock.
Soon everything is going to require a tournament lock.
I feel like it should, because it limits, the amount of injuries that could become that could be bestowed onto somebody.
And the minute that you're actually playing airsoft to actually put
Hurt
in
somebody?
more physical damage to somebody
That's
than anybody else could put on you is
a little
cheating.
ridiculous. It's cheating.
It's a douchebag type of move.
Exactly. Rule number 3 for field etiquette is blind fire. Richie, what is blind
Yeah,
fire?
blind firing is when you just stick your gun out, you're not looking, and you're just shooting all over the place. You know that a target's over here. You're hiding behind cover, and the only thing you're sticking out is your gun. So you'll hide behind this thing, and you'll stick your gun out like this, and you'll just be shooting away. You don't know if you're shooting at a ref. You don't know if you're shooting at an opponent. You don't know if you're shooting at a teammate.
You don't even know if you're hitting anything.
You don't know. You're just doing that. That's blind firing. Also, what I have been seeing is sometimes in the fields that we play, there's little holes in the wood because most of the buildings are made out of wood. People will see who's over there. They'll stick their guns in the holes and they'll shoot through them. That's a douchebag move.
That's also considered blind firing.
And that should, something like that is a douchebag move. That should require immediate removal from the field.
Now, I understand, especially if you're a first timer, you might be a little bit afraid to get hit, so you might do it. That's an honest mistake. But if you've been playing for, let's say, a year or 6 years or more, and you intentionally stick your gun around a corner and you can't see your target, but you're pulling a trigger anyway, it's a douchebag move.
It's a bitch move, man.
It is. So pretty much what you want, it's supposed to be a fair game. If I see you and you see me, and you're behind a wall, you're supposed to at least stick your arms out with your head, so I at least have somewhere to hit you. Well, let's see. So we got the bang bang rule, we got the blind fire, full auto and burst.
Yeah. Don't be a douchebag for audio and people spawn. People
Shooting at the spawn. Thank you. That's another rule. Actually, I would like to go over. Now, certain fields may not have lines marking spawns. I know Striker does it because they do tend to switch their spawns up a lot.
What's good with Striker is you can't actually shoot into the spawn.
With some spawns you can't. With some you can.
Yeah, but majority of the spawn, you're behind the wall. So you have to actually go into a room which is behind your wall. So they can only shoot in your spawn if they actually cross into your spawn and they're in there.
Right.
But you can't, but in basically an airsoft factory,
they have tape on the floor marking your spawns. You're supposed to allow your opponents to step out of that safety zone and have a chance to actually fight back in a sense. If you're going to sit there and you're going to shoot into spawn, you're a douche. It is not the field, it is the kids. The kids who think they run the place and that they can do what they want and that nothing limits them is what will ruin a field for a player.
Yeah.
Just come out, be a good sport. I know I sound like an old man saying that, but be a good sport. Have decency.
Dude, respect. Respect your opponent.
Respect your opponents, respect everybody. Respect the field itself.
Like, we want to help these people to bring new people.
That's what I'm saying.
Where some of these guys that take it a little too serious, they push them away. With
Some guys will see a new player, as Repo said, and they'll push them away. They won't guide them in the right direction. Now, him and I, we see that a lot.
They let that ego.
A lot of people have a big ego, especially when playing Airsoft. I understand. It comes out. But if you see a new player on the field, take the time, not even just befriend them, take the time to sit down and have a conversation with them. Or if you're out on the field and you see that they're sitting, behind a wall and they really don't want to move, go up to them and be like, hey, listen, I'm going to move up. Come with me. I do that all the time. I do not mind taking a new player and saying, come on, I'll follow your lead. And I will stick with them, right behind them, and they could just be walking. I'll make sure my gun is up, my finger is by the trigger, not on the trigger, by the trigger, ready to pull, and if I see somebody, I'm pulling that trigger, because I have his back.
Our next video, we'll do some reviews of some of the fields we play at and what we like about them, what we don't.
And we'll just
play.
We'll suggest fields to you guys. If you guys have field suggestions for us for that video, be happy to comment and let us know. If you have a suggestion, let's say right now with this video, leave it in the comments.
Let us know what you like and what you don't like about the Airsoft community. What you could change if you wanted to change it.
Yeah, let us know how you feel. We're interested to know.
Definitely. Until next time, Repo.
Sandman, have a good night.
Yeah.